Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today in the review room we're taking a look at the new color tops from McFarlane Toys. This is Negan from the TV show The Walking Dead. Now right off the bat I gotta say that this is a really cool figure. You could tell a lot went into it, especially getting the stance right. There's something about it in the right lighting. It is like a miniature Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It's incredible. However, it's almost defeated in a way by some of the sloppy paint apps. Some of it I just don't understand, like the jacket, the zippers. On the promo images, they were incredible, and keep in mind, this is a bigger figure compared to the 5-inch, and when you compare it to the 5-inch comic Negan, the zippers are even better on that one, so I don't understand how this happened. Some paint on the face just isn't as smooth as Sasha, and I know this is an older character, so obviously he's going to have more detail in the face, but that's not what I'm talking about. It just seems clumpy. Anyway, let's take a look. Now we have both this bloody version, which is a Walmart exclusive, but look at the paint under the nose, just really sloppy. And then some of the paint there in the beard, you can see where it's not fully painted yet with the sculpt. Same thing a little bit with this Negan. This Negan is cleaned up a little bit better, but you can see the likeness. It's definitely there. It's just fighting to shine under some sloppy paint work. And you can see the detail in the jacket here between the standard and then the blood splatter. See, the zipper's pretty good there. It's almost like the promo. It's just not good enough. And then you have blood splatter on the pants here, some texture to show off the material of the pants, and then this is without the blood, and then the hand without the blood, and then obviously the bloody hand on this figure. You can see a little bit by the thumb area there. And then as far as the bat, this is a blood splattered bat, but then again my disappointment shines through with this bat because it's just not as sexy looking as the promo bat, and it looks like they just blew up the regular 5-inch bat, so not really impressed. But I am impressed with the detail of this figure and the screen accurate look from the boots. You got a little bit of blood on that other pair, and this pair is just perfect here. This is before the kill. Nice, fine, painting on those buckles. That must have been a pain in the ass, but they got it. And then they got a little wallet or a cell phone here. I don't know what that's supposed to be. And then you have the detail work on the belts. And then again, you can see some of that sloppy work on the zippers. I mean, some of it on this figure especially is just bad. Now, the double hands, you get an alternate hand. Here's the one hand holding the bat up on the shoulder. This is like your standard grip, just holding the bat. And this here is your grip as if he's pointing the bat forward. It's awkward though because they have the rest of his body in a stance like he's standing with the bat on his shoulder, and it works perfect for that stance. But then when you try to put him in a position where you're actually utilizing this alternate hand, somehow it just comes off awkward. It doesn't work all that well. And again, I think that's because there's not much articulation with the rest of the figure. You can't put him in many stances, even though there's articulation in the arms and stuff like that. You can't do much with him, in all honesty. Looks good, but you can't do much with him. So basically you can either have him kind of pointing the bat out or just kind of holding the bat. Now let's take a close-up look on this scarf. Great detail, great waves, great weathering. I think at least this scarf is a home run. And then you can also put the head back on, and you can have a scarfless Negan. I don't know why they didn't put a white shirt under there. Maybe Negan wears a black shirt, I'm not remembering correctly, but a white shirt underneath is an iconic Negan look, and he looks good without the scarf. This isn't the type of figure where you take the scarf off and he looks awkward. It looks like there's something missing, He looks really good without the scarf. So you could get two different Negans with this, with the scarf, without the scarf. But what do I know? Arms go up like this. The head has good amount of articulation, plus removing the head to remove the scarf. The head is easy. Probably one of the best I've ever had in a figure. Haha, the best head I ever had. He moves around as much as you would possibly need him to for articulation in the head. You got some good side to side. You got some good up and down. It does what you need it to do without the scarf. Obviously, once you put the scarf on, he could barely move his head. Now his arm, this one you get a lot of bend with. Probably the most bend. There's also a swivel right there at the elbow. It goes high so you could put the bat on his arm, just like this. You know what I mean? And again, that's with that standard gripping hand. You can't do that with the alternate hand. It just looks weird. But look at him. Look at this is Jeffrey Dean Morgan's body right here. They got this. This is a home run as far as like the look, especially from the back. You look at his upper shoulders and the bat and his head, and this looks like the promo image that they were releasing for Negan, where everyone's lined up in front of him. I mean, this is a home run. They got this right. I keep saying that, but they got this right. His body posture, it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan all the way. All right, so this is his hand. See the alternate hand, how it looks weird. His arm extends all the way down good enough. This arm has more articulation than the other arm, but it does everything you need it to do. It'll swivel around. It swivels at the elbow joint, and it lifts up enough to get that bat right on his shoulder just fine. Both arms come out to the side, but the left arm doesn't come out quite as much. The left arm bends 90 degrees, but back to back you can see the left arm doesn't bend nowhere near as much as the right arm because of the stance, the pre-designed stance. You could kind of see a little bit of how both arms bend here, but this is just fiddling around with it now. There's almost no waist articulation. It moves just a hair, and these unfortunately are not articulation points. I really wish they were, but they're not. Fortunately though, these are replacing those horrible cut areas on the previous color tops that always seem to leave a crack so you can see right through the frickin' thigh. You get a little bit of articulation. If you really work it in there, it seems like you can actually get it to move a tiny bit. Great detail, and yes, you're gonna get a little bit of a swivel, not in the ankle though. It's gonna have a cut, a tiny cut with a little bit of movement at the top of the boot. And yes, the knees bend and they do have the usual swivel as well. Unfortunately though, that articulation is pretty much useless. You can only use it a little bit. Like I had mine in like a stepping stance, so I was able to use the knee articulation just a tiny bit. But without any hip articulation, the knees are very limited. And this stand can be a pain in the butt. For some reason, he does not want to stand right on this base. There's always some type of gap on that left foot. The only remedy I found out is to angle his toes, angled towards his left side, and that seems to help a good deal. And if you want to, do what I did, which is have him like he is in mid-step, and that way his toes seem to connect a little better that way, just like I have it here. Even with the cons of this figure, this is probably one of the best color tops figures they've released so far. Just the cut in the thigh alone, getting rid of that is a huge plus for McFarlane Toys. That was a major con, and that they're adding more articulation, that is another huge plus. I kind of feel like if they did not add this articulation, the color top series would just be done with. These guys do look good, not great. I really want them to circle back around and release another Negan figure in a couple years and maybe touch up some of the paint and give us a home run with that one. But I think this is definitely worth it. It's a $20 figure you can find at Target, Amazon, and only Walmart. Do not forget, only Walmart for the bloody version of the Negan color tops from McFarlane Toys. Alright guys, give me your thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. One last thing, I think these boxes are a huge improvement. I'm big on the boxes because that's the first thing collectors see when they go to buy this thing. Remember I told you the back of the box only needs 2 pictures. The big one, the little one, bada bing, bada boom, they did that. They took away the number pattern on the side of the box and they put it on the back of the box right there, but I kind of feel like that shows color tops soon to be gone. We might have our own Walking Dead line back, baby. Or not.